Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. So let's see today's daily challenge on Leetcode and try to solve it together. So today's challenge is a very interesting puzzle which is Sudoku solver. Okay, and many people also keep this in their project, but I will definitely suggest you not to keep it. And it is told that it is a very difficult problem by many of them, but I will try to explain you in a very easy and simple manner so that you do not feel that this is problem is difficult at all. Okay, so let's see the problem. You are given a Sudoku puzzle and you need to fill all the empty cells, and definitely while filling the empty cells you must satisfy all the following rules. Each of the digits must occur exactly once in a row, once in a column, and also one in this 3 cross 3 grid. Okay, so you can see this 9 cross 9 grid is partially filled. You need to fill all the empty cells, and this 9 cross 9 is in turn divided into 9 3 cross 3 cells. Okay, and those cells also should have unique numbers. Each row and each column should also definitely have unique numbers. So you need to just fill the Sudoku. Okay, and you will all the constraint is nothing because the Sudoku is always a 9 cross 9 grid. Okay, so you need to fill the complete Sudoku. In the previous problem, okay, if you see yesterday's daily challenge, I had explained you how to solve this, not exactly the same problem, but in this question you are given a grid and you are asked whether this is solvable or not solvable or not, whether the current grid is valid or not. So all you needed to check is that whether the current, whether there is any repetition in a row or column or in a grid. Okay, so I wrote some function in order to check whether there are repetitions in a valid in a row, column or grid. I will reuse those functions. Okay, so I will also definitely explain them, but I will reuse the functions from my previous video. So I will also suggest you to watch this video. This question is a little simple one. I hope you could have also done it on your own. You just need to tell whether this Sudoku is valid or not. You do not need to fill it. Okay, but you are now given the extra task of filling it. So how we will approach this problem? Okay, so you see one brute force idea which comes to your mind, and that exactly works also, is that I will traverse through the grid, and whenever I get an empty cell, I will try all of my solution. I will try all of my possible integers. What are my possible integers that I can place? I can place integers from 1 to 9. So I will try all of my possible integers in an empty cell and check whether the Sudoku is solvable from that portion. If it is not, let's say I've placed a 4 here. Okay, let's say after 5 3 in the first 3 cross 3 grid, you can see that there are 5 3 and there are 4 empty cells and some cells are filled. So let's say I placed a 4 here instead of in 5 3 and 4. So what will I do? What will I do is that I will just I will just iterate from 1 to 9. Let's say in 4 I filled it. Okay, and I saw that after filling 4, this Sudoku is not solvable. Okay, let's say this Sudoku is not solvable. Let's say I placed 4 here, and after due to after keeping on filling the cells, there are some conflicts due to which this 4, after placing 4, this Sudoku is becoming non-solvable. Then what will I do? I will remove this 4 and go to 5. Then I will go to 6. And in a similar way, I will just keep on going until I find a number which I can exactly place in this cell, and that will also satisfy my criteria. Okay, so I hope you easily understood what I'm going to do, what I'm trying to say in fact. So you are given this cell. I will do a very simple thing. I will just iterate through this. Okay, there will be some rows and some cells which will be filled by numbers. So I will do a very simple thing. I will just have I from let's say 0 to 8. Okay, and J from let's say 0 to 8. Okay, these are index numbers. So I will check that if this grid of ij, if this grid of ij is empty. What does being empty means? It has a dot. Okay, it is told in the question that being empty means it has a dot. So if it is having a dot, what will I do? I will try to fill, I will do another for loop and try to fill the numbers. Okay, how can I fill the numbers? Let's say I will have a val from 1 to 9. So I will try to fill 1 first, 2, and then till 9. All the numbers I will try to fill. Okay, how I will try to fill? Definitely I am in the cell ij now. So I will place this ij. Okay, I will place this ij position with value. Okay, and now I will check again. I will recursively call this function. Okay, so I will now recursively call this function. Let's say this is a solve function. Okay, which returns a boolean value if the if the matrix is solvable. Okay, so I will call this solve function again and ask that if okay, so before calling the solve function, I will also ask whether this is valid or not. So I will write a function is valid. Okay, because you need to see that whether this value which I have placed, which the value which I placed just now, is it valid? Because is it, if I am trying to place a 2 in my missing cell, and if there is a 2 somewhere in the row or somewhere in the column, then I cannot place the true straight away. So I will just check whether it is valid or not. Okay. Uh, so if it turns out to be valid, then I will just and for using this is valid, I will use this previous problem. Okay, I will use these three functions of this previous problem, and I will check if it is valid to place this. If it is not, what can I do? I can replace this grid ij. So this grid ij I can easily replace by z, nothing. Okay, I can easily replace by nothing. And I will also check that if this Sudoku function, I will recall if it is also valid, I will also call this Sudoku function again. So I will not backtrack, I will just recursively call. Okay, forget about backtracking and stuffs like that. It is the simple recursion. I will recursively call this solve function and ask that if it is solvable. If it is solvable, then it's all right. I will just return true. Okay, if it is not solvable, then I will simply again what I can do is that I can replace my current grid with an empty cell. Okay, I hope you do get the intuition of what I'm trying to do. Things will get very clear when I code it out. So let's see the solution now. Okay, so I do have my solve Sudoku function, but if you notice, we only need to fill this board and do nothing else. It is a void function. We don't need to return anything. But as I explained you, I need a bool solve function, okay, which will tell me whether the Sudoku is solvable or not while calling recursively. So just for the sake of that, I will write another solve function, and for this I will just call that solve function. Okay, I will just call this solve function with board, and that will be a boolean solve function. Okay, this will be the main boolean solve function. Okay, so it will take the same argument, just the difference is that the data type is boolean, so that I can call it recursively and to check whether the board is solvable in future. So what will I do now initially is that I will simply go from 0 to 8. Okay, I will simply go from 0 to 8, and just also the second dimension I will just iterate it, and I will see that if my current board cell is empty. Okay, so it means that if it is empty, so you see only if it is a dot, then it will be empty. Okay, so if my current board cell is empty, then what can I do? I can look forward to place something. So what are the values which I can place? I can definitely place something from 1 to 9, right? I will try to place something from 1 to 9, and okay, now I need to check whether my placing is valid or not. So I will write a function is valid, which will so I will also place it, right? So these are the values which I can place in the empty cell. I will try placing it. So let's say I have already placed it. In this way, I had already placed this value. But you see, this is a character, so I need to iterate this value in the form of a character, otherwise there will be error afterwards. So you see, I'm writing like this. So yeah, if this board is valid, okay, so if this board is valid, what will I tell? That what you need to do, this also needs to be solvable. Okay, so if solve, I will recursively call this function again if this board is solvable. Okay, and this valid also needs an I comma j, because I have placed the value at position I comma j, and then I want to check whether there is any conflicting rows or columns already occurring in the same row, same column, or in the same grid. Okay, so if this board is solvable, what will I do? I will simply return true. Okay, I will return to my original function. I will just return true. It is not storing anything, but it says that the grid is completely filled now. There is nothing more you need to fill. you just return true in this case. Else, if the board was not solvable in future, you are just trying out different kinds of values by placing in the cells, and you are seeing that it is not solvable, then what you do, you simply replace this board ij with dot again, because that value which you tried is actually not not valid. Okay, the value which you tried is actually not satisfying. And again, when you want to continue by, I mean, let's say you have already tried one value, and when you want to continue with the next iteration by trying the next value, you must ensure that the current cell you are again placing it with value, and again placing it with a dot, so that it becomes empty again. Okay, so this is the essence of actually backtracking, you can call, but it is simple recursion, I would say. Okay, so you are just keeping a value, trying whether it is working. If it's working, then you are just recursively calling and returning true in between only. And if it is not working in some case, you are just, I mean, filling it with the space thing which is there earlier also. Okay, now you see that if there is a space here, and if there is a space here, and the Sudoku is solvable, it will return true in between only. So if it is coming out of this if statement after going in, so if it is coming out of this if statement, it definitely means that even after being a dot, there is nothing else we can do. Even after being a dot, there is nothing much that we can do. Okay, so in here I can just write a return false. So you see, I have entered into the if statement, and I have not returned anything. I have not returned true. I have tried all possible values. And still I have not returned anything. It means that my Sudoku is unfortunately not solvable from this position. I need to return true. And at the end also, you see, I will return true. Why? Because this can you tell when will this come? This will come when no cell is empty. So you see, we are iterating through the I and j, and in each of the cell I'm telling that if it is empty, go for this and check, recursively keep on checking. If it is true, return true in between only, and if it is false, you will return false. So it will either return true or false if it enters this if. But if it never enters this if, it will mean that the Sudoku is completely solved already. You do not need to do anything. The Sudoku is completely solved. So you can just return true. So you see, if the solve board means that it will again call this function and again start from the same thing after placing this value. After placing this value, it will look for some different empty cell and try to place different values, and till it is getting a conflict. Till it is getting a conflict, it will return false in those cases. So I hope you easily understood what I am trying to say now. And yeah, so that is all. I just need this is valid function. So what is this is valid function? It will be definitely a bool. Okay, so I will write this is valid ij. So it will take this argument. Along with that, it will also take the row and column. So it will also take this row, let's say, and this column, let's say. Okay, so all I need to do now is that check that is valid row. So if any same element is present in this row, so I will write a separate function for that. And if any same element is present in the columns, I also need to check for the column R and C. Okay, and if any same element is present in this grid, I also need to check whether the same element is present in this grid or not. So is valid row, is valid column, and is valid grid. If everything is valid, I just simply return true. Okay, otherwise I will return false. So it will mean, I hope you easily understand. Okay, and I will just copy these three functions, is valid row, is valid column, and is valid grid, from my previous video. Okay, from the previous daily challenge of yesterday. Okay, so I just copied all this, and I hope you can easily get these functions. Even if you do not understand, you can just pause the video and give it a check. I have also pasted the code in the comment section, so you can just go through the code. It is very simple, right? You are at a row and column. So if you want to check all the in my particular row, if there is any repetition or not, I will need to iterate through the j variable and check if there is an matching element. If it is a matching element and also it is not the current element, then return false. Then otherwise you just return true. Okay, so if any one element you get matching, you just return false in between, otherwise in between you return true. Same thing, almost the same thing you drew for is valid column. And for is valid grid, you apply a little trick here, is that you find the top right corner of the grid. So basically, if you are any position in this, you with start row and start column, it means that you just find the top left corner of the grid. So that will be our starting points of iteration, and we will go till we will traverse a 3x3 grid. We are traversing a 3x3 grid, and we are telling that if there are any matching duplicates are found and it is also not in the current cell, then only return false, otherwise at the end you can just return true. So that is all that is happening in this problem. And you see, I think the problem now looks pretty much simple to you. It is accepted. Even if you try to submit it, you see it will give accepted. It is not giving a good runtime or memory. I don't know why, but it varies a lot. Sometimes it was giving good memory and runtime even with this code. But I hope this problem was made very simple for you. Okay, this problem was actually very intuitive and simple. Many people try to put this problem also in their resume to show that, see, I have built a Sudoku solver. But yeah, you can do it, but I will not suggest you if you can put some better projects, because you see this problem can be easily solved in 20 minutes. Okay, right? So it is definitely not a good problem to put it in your resume. And I hope you also do get an essence of backtracking, also how we do things with backtracking. We try to place some values and we try to see and recurse in between that. Okay, so I try to place a value, try to recurse in between that and return the result. And then if it is failing, I will just redo what I have done. I will just undo what I have done. Okay, I will just undo what I have done. So that's how backtracking also works. Okay, so yeah, I hope this problem was really clear and easy to understand. I was able to make it easy, and if you like the video, definitely subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so that's all for this video and for today, and I hope your day goes really easy. Thank you so much.